Hi there, today let's talk about counterfeit records, by which I don't mean like live bootlegs like this one. No, I'm talking about the copy of an official album, usually sold as the real thing. So this is a sad tale of betrayal and disappointment. Not too long ago, I was on a business trip and went into a music shop, second-hand vinyl shop, and there was this. This is the Live Killers album from the Jazz Store, which is a great live album. I do own the CD version, and I was pretty interested into the vinyl one. It looked pretty good, maybe too pristine as far as the record go. As it turns out, it was too clean to be true. I had my doubt, because in that shop there also was like Japanese pressing of Wish You Were Here, and there was like an innuendo by Queen at 20 euros, which looked a bit weirder to me as far as the quality of the cover went. So I didn't buy it immediately. I checked on Discogs later on that day. I found that the Japanese Wish You Were Here was pretty much for certain a counterfeit, not the real Japanese pressing. You can see that the real one has a colored label, whereas the counterfeit has an all black label. But as for Live Killers, there was only one counterfeit, one fake one listed on Discogs with red colored vinyl. This one was the black one. I don't know. I thought, okay, let's try. It was 30 euro, by the way. When buying it, I just asked the seller just to see how he would respond if this was already like the official pressing. It was a German pressing, by the way, and not a fake. He gave me his guarantee that no, this is the real deal. Okay. So I'm leaving the town, and back home put the vinyl record on my turntable, and it sounds crap. The sound is all muffled and with no high end. It's terrible. The CD version, while not like audiophile material, is much better than this piece of garbage. Fast forward to last weekend. There was like a big record fair in Nantes. Every seller pretty much had that same piece of garbage, and they had like very lousy copies of Nirvana albums, or the first couple of Led Zeppelin albums, and really obvious counterfeit, badly printed copies. This one looks pretty legit in comparison. So I've chatted with a lot of sellers that day, and the general idea was that, you know, yeah, they know it's fake, and it's probably like fooling the customer. But you know, one guy said, well, if you're dumb enough to buy like a pristine first Nirvana album pressing for 20 euros, then the joke is on you. You deserve to be fooled. A friend of this seller was also a seller himself, said, you know, you can't say that, because there are probably lots of 20-something young people who are just getting into vinyl and you know, the old classic bands like Queen, or now Nirvana is sort of a classic rock in a way. not everyone has to be like a vinyl expert on the, what is the correct price and what is obviously a fake. I mean, not everybody is that much into the game, and it's not a valid reason to trick them. The very obviously fake ones, if you buy that, you know what you get. But the ones that are really well made and I've seen some wear and tear, then if the guy sells it as the real deal, it's a matter of trust at the end of the day. There has to be a point where you're not engaging into a fair business, but just fraud. If I take the example of this big fair, half of the Queen albums on sale were fake, and the other half were real copies, usually French copies, because I'm in France. They would go for 25-30 euros, and they were in pretty bad shape. There are scratches everywhere and dust and just awful shape, but still 25 or 30 euros or more. So there came a point where if you want to be sure to buy the real official album, you pretty much had to focus on the dirtiest, most damaged records there were. So something's definitely wrong in all this. One seller told me, yeah, they're probably like 5% of my stock is fake. And in an ideal world, it would be zero. It would be nice to get rid of everything, but the very existence of this stuff in pretty much the stock of every seller means that somewhere in Germany there's a guy or a girl who pressed these fake items. I don't know how they did it, because it sounds worse than the CD. It's not even like they ripped the CD to make this. I don't know how they end up with a product that sounds that bad. But anyway, they did like a pressing, or maybe, I don't know, 2000, I don't know, and flooded the European market. Oh, one last thing. Some guys, they won't advertise this as a fake one, obviously, but as a reissue, which is pretty misleading, because this is a reissue. This is the official reissue for A Day at the Races. Okay, this is legit. A counterfeit copy of an official album is not a reissue. It's just a fake piece of shit. Oh, I think the bottom line is, if you're a bit new to vinyl, but even if you're a bit more seasoned, when it comes to very popular in-demand bands in the classic stuff, let's say Pink Floyd, let's say Led Zeppelin, let's say Queen, The Beatles, okay, if it's like 30, 35, 40 euros and it looks okay, decent, it might be just fake. So take care. Bye.